Okay, so hopefully in the last video you managed to set up our table. So we just changed our primary keys. Just if you want a little bit more information on primary key, the primary key just is the identifier by which the database recognizes each thing. So each table in the database needs a primary key, or else it doesn't quite work. Okay. What we're going to do is, if we just go back to this, what we're going to do is we're going to try and set up the relationship between these, because in the last video I told you that, well, here we've got customer reference, and also in sales we've got customer reference ID, and in price list we've got card ID, and in sales we've also got card ID. So we know that we're talking about the same people and the same cards when we look at this. So for instance, I think we used the Amy Savinelli person in the last lesson, or in the last video. Her reference number is 29. If we go to sales and look at her reference here, she bought an RT card, and then if we go to here, that's her card reference. You can see an RT card here cost her $4.50. So we know there's a relationship between all of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up that these three tables are actually connected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click to Database Tools and Relationships. Now at this point you can hopefully see it a little bit easier. I'm just going to move these around just a little bit. Sorry. Okay. And I'm going to try and line them up maybe something like this. You can see here that we've got custom reference ID and custom reference ID. So we're going to try and connect the two of them. And we've also got card ID and card ID. So we're going to eventually connect the two of them. Now, the thing that I really want you to focus on when you're taking the print screens in this section is, why do we do this? Okay, it's fine taking a print screen and saying I've connected these. What the examiner really wants to know, especially for merit and distinction, is why have you done these things? And the reason we do that is to link similar bits of information. Also, the reason we do it is it does something we call maintains data integrity. That really means that it stops somebody putting in some information in our sales table and not putting in information in our price list and customers table. Okay, so it stops records being lost in our database. So when you're explaining why you do that, you might want to mention that it maintains the integrity of the data and it prevents records being lost. Okay, so you might want to mention that while you're doing it. How do we link the relationship? Well, it's quite simple.